Alright, hello there, friends of the internet. Here we are at Hatfield McCoy, and we are riding for the very first time Buffalo Mountain trails. And this was a pretty nice trail system, honestly. It was kind of warm today, surprisingly, for it being middle of, well, almost end of October, but great trail system, relatively smooth. That was one of the first things I found out about when I was riding here compared to Rock House, let's say. The system here was much, much smoother. And, you know, you could go as fast as you want within reason. Um, the one thing that I absolutely cannot stand is little splishy splash mud holes for some reason. And there was quite a few here. I think they got some rain a couple days ago. So I was trying to take it kind of easy. One thing you'll notice here, we took a wrong turn. It's really, I mean, you can get lost here quite easily if you're not paying attention, but they do provide maps pretty much wherever you go. So if you stay at a cabin, if you stay at a hotel, or if you go to the trailhead like we did during, you know, operating hours, they'll have a place where you can buy your pass and you can buy your trail map. So, or excuse me, get the trail map. The maps are free. Pass you got to pay. Out of state is 50 bucks. So we try to at least come here twice a year. That way it's really only 25 bucks to run here. The one thing too that's really nice about Hatfield is there's trail connectors just about everywhere, and I'll pop up on the screen at some point what the maps kind of look like and where we stayed, which I think is one of the better places to be at, since you don't have to worry about trailering if you don't want to. Some systems like this one we did end up having to trailer to, which people might think is kind of annoying, and I would have to agree with that, but there are going to be some times where you have to do it depending on where you stay. If you're going to be up north, like at Ivy Branch, and you want to ride at Rock House, there's no way in hell you're going to be able to drive your, you know, UTV, side-by-side, dirt bike, quad, whatever, all the way from Ivy Branch. You're going to have to trailer. I think that one of the best places to stay, honestly, is near or right at Bear Wallow. That way you can still hit up most of these trails, and a lot of them you can get to just by riding. You'll just have to kind of know where the connectors and stuff are. So yeah, just kind of taking it easy since it's the first time out today. I didn't want to beat on the machine too hard, and it really does wonderful on these trails. It soaks up all the bumps really well, and it with a passenger even, it's very comfortable. My buddy Nick and I were, I mean, we rode for hours. I think today we did, or this day we did 130 miles. We made it to Matewan and got barbecue, and I'll throw some pictures up here where we were at there, eating some barbecue lunch and stuff. It's pretty cool. We actually ended up driving over to Kentucky to get gas. That's how far down we were riding. And yeah, just super neat. I would really implore most people to definitely check out riding at Hatfield. It's a blast, honestly. And there's something for everyone here. We have a pretty fast pace, even though uh, during parts of this video I'm not going super fast, just because I don't want to hit all the little slop holes, but there are some times where I ramp it up, and you'll see that. So, you know, you got to be careful on some of the blind corners. You got to slow way down to make sure you're not going to get smacked. We had a couple of close calls, specifically the next day in Rock House. But this trail had almost nobody on it, which I thought was kind of strange, but this was Friday morning at about 10 a.m. Eastern. And like I was saying, there's something for everybody here. You don't have to be extremely well versed in, you know, riding on trails. You can literally, you could be a first timer and have fun here. There are some times where you'll run into something strange, like I think later on in this video you'll see some weird like mud holes, you know, but on a halfway decent side-by-side and four-wheel drive you can get through just about everything. We did hit a couple blacks on here, and I mean, anybody that has a side-by-side knows that you can get through just about anything in four-wheel drive and low. So, there are a few situations where maybe a super new rider, you'd want to steer clear of things, but generally speaking, the green is super easy. The blue is relatively easy for side-by-sides. If you're bringing a dirt bike, you got to be a little careful, especially on some of the blue trails. They can be rocky, and some of the climbs can be pretty steep, and they can be in situations where there are these like switchbacks. So you really have to be kind of on your game when you're turning back and forth to get up these hills. Um, Quads probably wouldn't have any issue. You just have to really, throw around some body English and know what you're getting into. Green trails like this one that we're on is relatively, I mean, it's super easy. You just have fun. And that's the nice part about this place, is that there's really, um, an amazing amount of trails. You can just go for, it seems like forever. I think it's like 800 miles of total trail system here. And it's just, yeah, it's fantastic. So, this trail here you can see is relatively smooth. I will say that the um, the trail maintenance people do a great job. They keep things relatively clean and well kept. They run a dozer through every once in a while, so that's pretty nice. I've been to some trails, specifically ones that aren't maintained well, and you can see that they can be kind of tough. So this next part coming up, I think I lead and get the pace up a little bit so you can see what the RMAX is capable of. So I'll stop talking here. You can enjoy this one. So the RMAX is one hell of a machine. I mean, I wasn't going completely flat out in that last section, but I was definitely putting her to the wood. And even here right now playing, I'm going up this small hill, this incline, pretty quick. This machine is quite phenomenal here. I mean, it's honestly, I feel like the machine was designed for Hatfield specifically. I mean, these kind of trails, it's unbelievable how well this machine works here. I got suspension clickers on setting 2, so the, what would you call, like that medium. I feel like I could probably put the fronts on firm. I think that would have helped the diving a little bit, but ultimately I this is the second time I've been out in Hatfield with this machine, and I always am, ripping as hard as I can within reason. There's times where we just cruise, but when we do dial it up, I mean, we're going, and the machine just soaks up everything so well. For a stock machine, I mean, really, it's phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, you can hear I'm giving it pretty good, so. And you got to be careful, if you come to Hatfield, depending on the time that you get here, if it's middle of summer or during Trail Fest or whatever, you could encounter some traffic. And the day after this, when we were in Rock House, we did hit up with a lot of traffic, and you got to be careful. You got to move over, you know, tell how many people are in your party. And I would say that everybody that we run into is always respectable. You know, they're not doing anything stupid. They slow down right away, let you pass, and everything else. But it's a great place. The RMAX really shines well here. Had no issues with it whatsoever. I do have the poly windshield on, which some kind of windshield I think is an absolute must. The next day riding, we hit quite a bit of rain, and that was tough, keeping things clean. I feel like the ideal situation would be a machine with a windshield and a wiper. That'd be really nice. We ended up, or I should say, I brought a little pump sprayer, and I forget how many gallons it was, maybe 2.5 gallons, you know, one of the smaller sized ones. But at a bare minimum, you want to bring something like that so you can clean your windshield off every once in a while. Because it can get muddy and weird. And you definitely want to have good visibility when you're riding here for sure. So, I don't know what we're doing here. I think we go down. So yeah, this is, you know, just a quick little talk about Hatfield. Do yourself a favor and get here. Do some research. Find a group that you want to ride with, you know, whether it's your buddies, your wife, your husband, kids, neighbors, really anybody will have a great time here. The only things that you really need to keep in the back of your mind is, you know, what machines you're going to bring, how long you're going to stay, and you know, if anybody has any questions with regard to going to Hatfield, let me know. But I'll post some stuff in the description of where we stayed, and you know, maybe a list of gear or something that you should bring. But RMAX did a great job. Any machine you bring here will be an absolute blast. The people are very hospitable, super friendly. The food is great. You know, there's great barbecue. Trail 12 barbecue on a rock house is amazing. You literally drive up this mountain and eat some fresh barbecue. There's just a whole bunch of great places to check out, and I encourage you to get to Hatfield whenever you can. It's just a great place to ride, and the RMAX really shines here. So thanks for listening to me babble. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know if you found it interesting. I can always pop up some more video about Hatfield. Thanks, guys.